Hi everyone. My name is Charles Jovu, and in this video I'm just going to be going over the Distroid Curation Algorithm editor demo, which it's out your personal feed demo, which I created I think just a couple weeks ago, or actually might have been a month ago. It's really just to show an example of how you could uh, customize the Distroid Curation Algorithm (DCA) to fit your particular needs. So if you're a reader of the Distroid Digest, the Distroid Curation Algorithm uh, is an algorithm that I'm working on to use to actually curate items to the actual digest. So, kind of to explain the reason why some things actually end up in a digest, why they don't. So I tend to curate a good amount of works, but of course, I can't necessarily look through all of them. So that's why I'm working on the DCA to kind of streamline the process and also just make it more apparent uh, on how I'm actually curating things, one for myself, but also to others. So if other people ever want to join in and curate with me, I can show them my process. And then from there, we could hopefully develop a better shared process, but also for the readers as well to see how I'm curating things. Uh, so it's not kind of like a black box on how things are actually being added to the digest or being recommended to them. So that's where uh, yeah, the DCA comes in. So in this demo, I just show one of the possibilities for the DCA is that people could customize it themselves so that it can meet their needs. So I'll be the one curating, but of course, if there are certain things that you're interested in or you don't think are really helpful to you, you can actually adjust the DCA so it better fits your own requirements. So of course you have the overview here, which I've kind of gone a little bit over. So just what is the DCA? It's algorithm produce a ranked feed of items. Here being works in the Distroid catalog knowledge graph, which of course will end up in the Distroid digest to increase our understanding of frontier information. So really more information to help you kind of understand the human technology relationship, especially regarding diagnosing and improving the human technology relationship. Excuse me. And one assumption, of course, that we have is that the higher the score an item has, the more likely it will give a greater understanding to a reader. And so for version 0.1 of the DCA, I'm primarily working with 6 quality signals. So you have ELI5, explain like I'm 5. I just build explain talks, complex talks in layman's terms, implications, which are real, imaginary, theorized outcomes or impacts, could be positive or negative, of how discoveries, technologies, and cultures could affect society, environment, the economy, or other areas. So really, just the implications of these new ideas, new technologies. Idea machine intersectionality. Uh, that's just number of idea machines that's where can be classified under. So for me, I find that be really helpful to kind of give the overall narrative of where the work actually falls under. So that way it's like, well, under this narrative, people are trying to do this or trying to do that. So it helps a little bit with connecting works to each other, but also trying to understand like the grand or the bigger scheme that people are going for uh, with their actual works that they're publishing with their ideas. A novelty, new knowledge that moves the knowledge frontier. So pretty much if it's new to me, it's got a high knowledge score. Informative, improves my understanding of a topic. Evergreen, knowledge that's it's applicable regardless of time or location. So those are like the 6 quality signals which are being used for the DCA version 0.1. And those are the ones which actually use to rate the items for the digest issue 44. So if I just open up here the digest issue, so everything that got curated here in this digest, as you can see, here's the table of contents. So I went and read all of these under the 6 quality signals, and I pretty much use primarily Likert scales, 5-point Likert scales to actually to rate all these items. But if you're interested in the data set, it's all right there. And so what's the objective function for the DCA? As basically just a weighted sum formula where the weights are between 0 and 20. Uh, and it's pretty much based on it's decimal points, all floats pretty much. So it could be like 0.1, 0.2, whatnot. And that way gets applied to each signal. And then regarding the functionality, you can customize the feed by setting the weights. You can also set a minimum DCA score for works to be added to your feed. So if it doesn't meet this minimum, it's not going to be added, regardless, even if it's high on certain signals that you might like. If it doesn't meet the minimum score, it won't appear. Also on their tips and tricks, there's something that you don't think it's really important regarding one of the signals, the 6 signals I mentioned earlier. You can just set the weight to 0, then it's gone. And also some additional information on recommender systems, and you can learn more about early work on the DCA. You can also read about some related work as well. People working on alternative feeds and newsletters, which helped influence my own work. So I've got 4 examples of related works. You can just go look through them. One I'll just open up. So I really do like those projects. It's called Fetty Feed. It's like creating customized algorithm for sending your feed on another Fediverse related social networks. So this one that's I took a lot of inspiration from when I was actually creating the DCA. Okay, back to it. And so you only get 3 outputs, which is the objective function, the scores for the DCA, and then the scores per signal. And mostly comes as a table. And so so the caveats, the work's already been rated, so you can't rate them. The weights and minimum score ranges are preset, so you can't go beyond what I've already set for this demo. But hopefully, if there's a lot of there's good interest in the DCA and people actually want to customize for themselves, they'll probably change. And then also, idea machine intersectionality has been shortened to IMI. It's really long, so I had to change that. So here we have all of our, weights that we can set. These are parameters we can actually set and customize them. So this way we can actually make the feed for ourselves. So first let's just leave it at weight of 1, and then we'll set the parameters. So actually, let me put that down there. So if we just leave everyone's weight at 1, minimum DCA score at 1 as well. Here you can see the objective function. So here's the weights times the novelty rating. So evergreen, informative. So this pretty much tells you what the formula is, so you know what it is at all times. And then here's the scores per signal. So this work, pillars or rights-based approach to AI development, knowledge score, evergreen, informative, IMI. It's been like 5 implications, so you can see all the scores per signal here. Well, yeah, those are the ratings. Okay, and then here's the actual feed. So here's the DCA score. Here it is underscore. You can see the title, and then also here's the URL. So then we can also, collapse the sidebar. So this way we can actually see the full table. You can also filter through the table as well. So if I'm looking for 22, score that's 22, so it came up. If it doesn't have 21 show up, so I go 21. There we go. So yeah, if it doesn't have 2, it doesn't have 1. So you go 22, and then you have 11 as it comes up. It's interesting, but anyway, this kind of just an example. If you just leave everything in general, but like let's actually customize the weights. So explain like I'm 5. So to me, I always prefer works which actually can explain in layman's terms because that makes it more accessible. And so, at least for me personally, it makes it also easier for people to understand concepts, which means it'll be easier to share concepts and for people to build on concepts. So for me, I actually do find XML and to be really important. Evergreen, not necessarily as much, but it does show us a way we can connect older knowledge to like newer circumstances. So Evergreen is pretty important, but I'll just set 5.5, informative. If it doesn't inform, there's no point to it. So for me, I'll set that 14.6. implications. I'm interested in the implications to me, but it's not necessarily the biggest thing. And so, like for novelty, also I'm not necessarily interested in very much how novelty is. But actually, going back to implications, I might set that a little bit higher. It's like 11.5. Novelty, let's say 6.2. Intermachine intersectionality. To me, this is to get the broader narrative. I find it to be important, so I'll just set that to 11.1. And a minimum score. Let's say a minimum score of just 10. So right now I'm just setting it pretty much to kind of my own own preferences, which is exactly what I would expect someone who wants to use the DCA for themselves to do that exactly the same. So from there, we just say set parameters, and then we'll collapse the sidebar. And you can see the objective function here is like 6.2 times anomaly, 5.5 times evergreen. So each rating's been says to weight. That's the rating for evergreen. So you can see everything being applied there. So this way you actually always know what the formula is. So it's not like hidden in the background, like, oh, how do you actually calculate this? Like, oh no, you can actually see the formula. And so from here you can see the feed. You see how our scores are like really big. But oh, sorry about that. But as you can see, scores they can get pretty big, but you can see stars make the world still ends up on top. That's what I think is really really informative. So, but then here, as you can see, everything gets sorted by the score. So my source of reference is at the bottom, while stars make the world is all the way at the top. You have two which are actually tied. You have total goes to delegation. At least for me, I feel like this would actually be a pretty good feed. At least like the top five is pretty close to what I would like. This one's also pretty good. But ultimately, it's just about like what you're actually interested in. And so we look at scores per signal. Now you can see, okay, so now their non-scores 24.8, 27.5, 7.3, or 11.5. Just the score itself is the overall. So if you actually add everything together, it's like you go back here, our objective function, you just add everything together. That's what you get here in score. So that's pretty much like your overall. So you add everything here in each row, you get that score. And so let's say I don't care about a certain signal. Let's say I don't really care about novelty. So I'll just set that to 0. And let's say I don't really care about evergreen. So I also set that to 0. So from there, hit set parameters. Once that's been set, as you can see here, now it's been set to 0. And you see score for signal, all 0. Actually, sorry, let me collapse. Okay, now you can see a little bit more. So yeah, everything's been set to 0. Then you go back to the feed, and now it's a little bit different. And you can see state prior voting has gone up, so resistant airdrops has gone up. So some things have gone up, some things have gone down. So it's depending on what you're interested in. Of course, that changes what how your feed is gonna look. So that's why even if it's the same as depending on what you're looking for, your feed's gonna look can look very different. It all just really depends. And so going back here to the parameters, you want to clear the parameters, so that's why they're all gone. And you can just start again from the basics. So you start here. You can also just restart them. Restart all the way, so I'll take it all back. But you want to just clear everything, you can just hit clear parameters, as I showed a little bit earlier. So yeah, that's pretty much how it works. If you have any questions over over that, of course you can send send an email to ledgerback@gmail.com, or you can contact me on Twitter from just at CADJOVU. Yeah, if you search that, I should just come up. I don't think there's really another person using a similar handle, so excuse me. So I think I should just be able to come up that way. And if you have any questions regarding the Distroid Curation Algorithm or others, you can also send me a message regarding that. So I just want to say thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. I know it's really long. I apologize for that, but there was kind of a lot I want to get to. But ultimately, just thank you for watching the video. Hopefully, you sign up to the Distroid newsletter at distroid.substack.com to keep up with updates on the project. And if you'd like to work on the project with me, or you'd like to just stay up to date, you just sign up to the newsletter on distroid.substack.com. But also, if you'd like to just use it for yourself, also contact me, and we'll try to work something out. So once again, thanks for watching the video, and I hope you stay interested in DCA and keep up with all the updates.